What do I need to do to get recruited? Or what can you do to help me get recruited? And it's always simple, and I ask them right from the get-go. Number one, who are you being recruited by currently? And most of the time I know the answer to that, due to their age. And then the other question is, what are you doing right now? What are you doing to help yourself? And I think that's the question that everybody needs to ask. What are you doing to help yourself get recruited? Um, Going to the gym and shooting 1,000 shots 3 times a week is great. It helps you make you a better player, helps you make more recruitable. But in the end, that has to somehow be linked up with your proactivity, on the business end of things, to where you are reaching out in some way to coaches. Um, this game is not played by sitting back and just being total a reactionary process. That's not the way this game is played. Despite what you think, what you see, what people might even tell you, um, that's not the way this game is played. And even if you're a high level recruit, um, that's not the way this game is played. Um, you Everybody is going to network. Everybody is going to make as many contacts and maintain those contacts, no matter if you're a Power 5 player or you're a walk-on Division 3 player. It's all the same. Your contacts are just in different circles. That's all. This is still a proactive game, in every aspect. And my question to everybody is always going to be, what are you doing for yourself? Most of the time I ask that question, I know the answer. So, what should you be doing for yourself? And I would tell somebody, if you're starting in the typical scenario, is somebody starting from square one, what do they need to do? Okay. Let's just say you're a sophomore. You're an incoming sophomore. You're a 2029. You're 6'4" and 200 pounds, and you've going to start in the varsity this year or whatever. I don't know what the scenario. There's 10 million different scenarios out there, but let's say you have no traction at all. You have no attention. Um, what do you do? What do you do? First thing I would do is I would get as many emails. I would make a spreadsheet, and you can have ChatGPT do this for you. I would make a spreadsheet of as many colleges that I could think of or that I could look up that were within 100-mile radius or 200-mile radius, or whatever, whatever you know the case may be, where you're located at in the country. Um, Now, if you're in this scenario, let's use some common sense. If you're in this scenario and you are located in Pittsburgh, just use that as a general hypothetical example. If you're located in the Pittsburgh area and you're a sophomore and you have zero um, offers, zero attention, you've had zero conversations, should you only contact the University of Pittsburgh, Robert Morris, Duquesne, Penn State, those types? Let's use some common sense and say no. Can you contact them? Yes, absolutely. And there would be nothing wrong with contacting all of those programs and saying, put me on your mailing list. I want to be at your camps. Because a lot of times those camps involve coaches from smaller schools that are there to recruit kids. Youngstown State is one of the schools that does a great job with this. They typically get 50 to 60 college coaches that come to their camp, that work it, that observe, watch players, and so yeah, that's a great idea. Um, but if you're serious about getting a serious look and a serious evaluation from coaches, you need to start a little bit smaller. If you've got no attention, there are, for instance, in that Pittsburgh area, there are tons of Division III schools. That would be a great starting point. You're allowed to visit anytime you want. You're allowed to talk to the coaches anytime you want. They're allowed to talk to you. The only difference in Division III and anything else is their calendar ends at the end of the season in March, and it doesn't begin again until school starts, in August for them. So they have a long, not a no contact period, but they have a long period where they can't be in the gym with their players. That's really the only difference between Division III and Division II. But from a recruiting standpoint, they have a lot of autonomy that they can, um, really set up anything they want as far as visits go, workouts, those types of things. So, open gyms, there's lots of opportunity there for open gyms. I would start calling around if I'm in the Pittsburgh area, and again, I'm just using this as a hypothetical, I would call Waynesburg and Washington Jefferson and, even the D2s, the Cal PAs and the Indiana University of PA, wherever, and ask, are you having open gyms? Are you having an elite camp? If you are, here's my information. I want on your list, and just start the process that way. It's just that easy. It's 1,000% free. There's no need to ask a employ or contract a recruiting whatever person. Like this stuff's free. It's common sense. Like if you were looking for a plumber, and you're building a house and you needed a plumber to come in and plumb the house, would you look for somebody to hire them for you? Or would you get on Google or ChatGPT or whatever and find one that fits, read the reviews and find one that fits and call and get estimates? I mean, this isn't really any different. But it takes a little bit of time to do this. And I don't know why people that are going to invest $15,000 into an HVAC system put more time into being proactive into spending that money than they might spending 20, 30, $40,000 into their kids' education to play basketball somewhere. Why you wouldn't be proactive on, in that aspect. So parents, I'm telling you, like, this is partly you. Like, you have to do this. Now, I would, make sure that the player, takes some responsibility in this, but this is a responsibility of you as well, because you are the parent and you are the guardian, even though they'll be legally an adult when they go off to college and to play basketball. But right now they need your guidance, and it's up to you to really instill that, set the example of being proactive in that, in that regard. So again, that's the starting point, I think, for anybody, that you need to take the time to do the business part of the recruiting. And it is the most important part, arguably, because it gives you more opportunities. It broadens your base of contacts. It strengthens your strengthens your network of people that This is just like, this is just how it works. This is the part that people don't see, though. When we have players that are out there, and I don't have to name them. If I have to keep naming them, it makes me it kind of makes me feel weird, like, that I keep naming, kids that have done this, and like, people sit back and look at it and they say, well, it's because, Blue Chips favors this guy, or his dad's paying them, or it's, they've got money, or this or that, or influence, or whatever. And it's not that. It's because they were proactive from day one. They understood that part of the process, and it's just part of the process. You have to do it. If you don't, you're just going to get what you get, and you're probably not going to be happy. Okay. So, if you ask me, and everybody is more than welcome to ask me. We have emailed out, um, you know, email list spreadsheets for Pennsylvania and Kentucky and Virginia and West Virginia and Ohio. And we're happy to do that. We're happy to do that. Um, but we can't email for you. I can give you an email template. I've done that for a lot of you. Um, Again, that's just where you have to begin, and most of the people are in that beginning stage. And the earlier that you start that stage, the easier this gets. If you come in as a freshman and you start that process right then, you put 2 years of that building your network, building your platform, your social media platform. And again, you don't have to spend. AI's got you, bro. You don't have to spend a ton of money to do a lot of this stuff. So much of this stuff is free. You just got to take the time to learn how to do some of it, and like, email is email. You've just got to do it. Parents, you've got to sit down and do it. Make a schedule. Put three schools a week. Send an email out to them. There's time right now that you can get out and still get invited to some elite camps in September, October. There's opportunities out there, but you've got to move. You got to create some movement. So I don't, I'm not mad at the fact that people don't know what to do. I'm very confused of why they don't, they're so proactive with everything else that they do financially. And this is a financial decision. Parents, this is a financial decision. It's not a basketball decision. It's a financial decision in a lot of ways and a lot of layers. You have to understand that. This is going to cost you money. I don't care if they go to UCLA on a full scholarship. You're going to have some cost incurred with that. Okay? You're just going to have some cost incurred with that. Now, that's going to be a lot less than it will be if you go to a private school in the middle of Arkansas, or a Division III in Virginia. Like, there's different levels and different layers to it, but this is a financial decision for you. So I'm always surprised that some of the people that I know are very successful and very sound financially, and they're people that just have their shit together. And they ask me what to do, and I said, what have you done so far? And their kids going to be a junior, or going to be or even a senior sometimes, and they're like, well, nothing. We haven't done anything. And I go, and they've got, the kids got one, a half-assed bio on Twitter. They've got one tweet that has one highlight from 2 years ago when they were the MVP of the 8th grade middle school championship game, and they wonder why nothing's happening. I can't dumb this down anymore. I can't make it any cheaper. This is as cheap as it gets. Um, are there some things that you can do out there, employ some services that can help you? Sure, absolutely. I would be a fool to tell you any different. It'd be very naive of me to think that there's not some places, some services out there that could help you. But um, the first steps are the easiest. They're the cheapest, but they just take a little bit more time than all the rest of them. But this is your foundation. This is when you set your foundation right now. I don't care if this is the August, you're getting ready to start school, your senior year in 2 weeks, or you're starting your freshman year in 2 weeks, or somewhere in between. You have to lay your foundation at some point. Um, don't wait for somebody else to do it for you. You know, don't wait for somebody else to come in and give you an offer, and then that's what you have to build off of. No, don't do that. Build your own foundation. And you can't build a house without the foundation. And sometimes the foundation is very minuscule. It's 4 posts in the ground, but sometimes it's big stone piers and a big full basement with 18-inch thick poured concrete walls. It's what do you want to live in? Which place do you want to live in? You pick one. Pick one. It's not hard. Do you want 4 by 4 posts in the ground, or do you want concrete, stone, mortar, blocks, more concrete? What do you want? The only way to get that concrete foundation is start right now and start building that network, start building that groundwork for that network, and get that started. Today's the day. You've got time. This is one of the periods of a time, as far as athletics go, that there's a little lull in the action. This is a great time to get started. And like I said, if you get started today, you're got a chance to get into some elite camps on campus and go. For those of you that are getting to your junior and senior year, and you feel like Westminster or Bethany or Allegheny College or whatever that's where you want to be, by all rights, call them up and call the admissions office, talk to them, set up an appointment, go tour the school, tell them you want to play basketball, go meet with one of the coaches and talk about it. Like, you can do that. You're allowed to do that. They'll either tell you to come on up. They might call me and say, do you know anything about this kid? Can you give me some information? That happens a lot. But again, the more proactive you are, the more times that you do that, take the time to go drive to Waynesburg and go through that process. All it takes is a phone call to the admissions office and tell them you want to go up. You want to be there. Those schools are in the business of enrollment, and they need enrollment, and they're not going to tell you no. They're just not going to tell you no, unless you're a total idiot on the phone to them. They're not going to tell you no. That's their job. So it's that easy, guys. It's that easy to get the ball rolling for your family, for your kid. If you've got 2 or 3 kids and you think, this is probably a process you're going to go through with more than one, this is your practice round. Get it done, get it out of the way, work out all the nooks, work out all the wrinkles in your processes, and then you the next kid rolls around that is ready to go through this process again, you'll be ready. Again, as always, you can reach out to me I'm always happy to help. All of our advice, all of our all of our stuff that we do one on one, it's free. Isaiah, same thing with him. He has, I've said it many times. He has so much recruiting perspective and experience. He's been there, done that with every single level. Well, probably not Division 3, but he's been every single level. He understands that process as well as anyone. He's done it through, JUCOs and even prep schools, and he's run the gauntlet, folks. And use him as a resource for you. It's easy and free. We've provided that over and over for people, and it works. That's the other thing I'll say is this process isn't just free and easy and all that. It actually works. Okay, and if you want some references for it, I can give you some references because it works. It's effective. Dollar for dollar, pound for pound, it's the most effective system out there, and I can back that up 1,000,000,000,000%. So, hey, we're at 22 minutes here. I'll wrap this up, folks. If you need something, let me know. But again, I do one of these videos every couple, 2 or 3 months, and reiterate. And so a lot of you are hearing the same information over again. But this really never stops. There's always new kids that are coming into high school and wanting to know, what the process is for them to help themselves get recruited. So I appreciate when kids reach out with that question. I wish more people would take the advice because it's worked every time. See ya.